The lords of old had a way of identifying true heroes from simple men and women, an ancient technique which defined a warrior's status when they fell to 30 HP or less. The technique is known simply as Hyper Mode. Hey guys, Ashen1 here and welcome to this Demon's Souls remake video. In this one I'm going to show you how you can activate Hyper Mode. If you thought the game was glass cannon already, wait until you see this. If you like my content, please like and subscribe, I really appreciate it. Right, let's get straight into it. Let's start by seeing Hyper Mode in action. So here I am fighting one of the game's many bosses, and as usual it's all going south. I eventually find myself backed up against a wall, with very low health, but a suspicious red aura has surrounded me, and boom, a one-hit kill of 25,000 damage. That, my friends, is Hyper Mode. Hyper Mode uses two items, the Clever Rat's Ring and the Morian Blade, and both of these have a damage buff when you fall to 30% HP or less, and they do stack. So if you have both of them, then it means you do 140% extra damage when you're at 30 HP or less. Now of course your build, your gear, your stats and your level all play a factor in this, and I won't be going into builds in this video, but I will show you some of the magic boosting items I'm using at the end of the video. Also, I'll show you how to get an optional item, the Magic Sword Makoto, because when you have this equipped, it actually depletes your HP, and this means you can activate Hyper Mode safely without endangering yourself. Okay, so let's get the Clever Rat's Ring first. Simply come to World 3-1, the Prison of Hope, and on the Ballista Bridge you will find the Clever Rat's Ring on a corpse. So simply come through this level naturally, and once you have deactivated the ballista, you can run onto the bridge to get the ring nice and easy. Okay, now the Morian Blade is a little more tricky as we have to craft it, which means we need any standard weapon. I chose a short sword. We need to get that to +8. Then we need the Searing Demon Soul so that we can give it to Blacksmith Ed for him to create better weapons for us. And we also need the Storm King Soul, who is the boss at the end of World 4. Now I have a video in which I run through World 4 without even leveling up, so you can check that out if you need help. So with the aforementioned items in place, bring your +8 short sword and a few souls with you to Blacksmith Ed, and once you've given him the Searing Demon Soul, you can then use the Storm Demon Soul to upgrade a +8 short sword, in my example here, to the Morian Blade. Now before we look at the setup for the 140% damage boost, I would strongly recommend making sure you have pure white will tendency for World 4, and coming back to the pit that Patches pushes you down, and you'll notice that an item that used to be up on a rock is now on the floor, and that is the Magic Sword Makoto, because with this we can deplete our HP just by having it equipped. Getting to 30% HP or less can take a bit of time with the sword's draining, depending on your HP, but this is much more safer than trying to get your HP down by getting hit by enemies, especially if you are deep within a world and not near an Arkstone. But don't worry, as you can actually speed up Makoto's health drain by rapidly equipping it and unequipping it, and this speeds up your drain a little bit faster. So how do we know if the buff is active? Well, as you can see here, we have hit 30 HP and a rat icon has appeared. Now this icon will appear if you have the Clever Rat's Ring equipped and or the Morian Blade. You'll also see a red aura around your character. The loadout then is pretty straightforward, so you just need to have the item that you want to use in one hand and the Morian Blade in the opposite hand, and also of course have the Clever Rat's Ring equipped. Now don't worry if you don't have the stats to wield the Morian Blade, that doesn't make any difference. And also as well, when you're using something like a bow, you don't need to worry as the Morian Blade will be on your back and will still take effect. So I did mention we could look at some of the magic items that I have equipped, which come with their own buffs, which stack on top of Hyper Mode. So for example, the Insanity Catalyst, which already just massively increases our magic attack power, but now it's being boosted even further. And then you can couple this with the Ring of Magical Sharpness, for example, and that is just going to put your magic through the roof. The great thing about hyper mode is that it will benefit any build. So for example here, if you are a melee character and you are quite confident with fighting enemies up close, you know their attack patterns and things like that, then it will still benefit you, as you can see here. Now maybe the risk of close quarters combat with very low HP is not for you, but don't worry, there are plenty of bosses in this game that can be cheesed by sniping, and plenty of other situations in the game which are great for ranged attacks. So, here I am against Maiden Estrella, and this is actually New Game Plus. So as you can see, I'm sniping her for 71 damage. Now this might become a problem when she starts healing, and maybe we won't be able to get her health down. But, with hyper mode on, we can see these stats increase massively. And of course, with the right build in Magic, you are going to be pretty much unstoppable. Again, this is another example of the Leechmonger boss, but this is in New Game Plus, and he still goes down in one hit. And there we have it, guys. I hope this video was helpful for you and that you enjoyed it. If you did, please leave a like and subscribe to my channel so that I can keep bringing you more. All the best, guys. Stay safe.